Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm in Heidelberg in Germany. This here is the famous strawberry tree. Wait, since when do strawberries grow on trees? Well, actually they don't. Those are not strawberries, but it's called a strawberry tree or Arbutus. I'm here in Heidelberg in Germany, right opposite of the famous Heidelberg Castle, one of the most visited attractions in all of Germany. And here is a rather smallish strawberry tree. I don't know why, those were quite popular like 10-15 years ago, and then suddenly people stopped planting them. So they were really popular to plant here just for less than 10 years. I haven't seen any freshly planted ones the last couple years, which is a pity, because I've seen a lot of those trees produce 50, 60, 70, 80 kilograms of fruit. So let's look closely at this so-called strawberry tree. If you look at the flowers, you can see, oh, those are no strawberry flowers. They look very different. This is actually a relative of the heather. It's in the family Ericaceae. Basically a heather with edible fruit. Yeah, and if you look at them, the fruit are ripening at the same time as next year's flowers are flowering. So the fruit needs a very long period to ripen, basically 10 to 12 months. Well, 10 to 12, maybe even 14 months, because here there are some really unripe fruit and a lot of flowers have already dropped. So the genus Arbutus, or strawberry tree, you can find it in Europe, North Africa and North America. But the most famous Arbutus is from China, which is strange because a lot of scientists actually don't include the Chinese fruit in the genus Arbutus. They include it in the genus Murica. But if you go to a Chinese shop, you will basically always find canned Arbutus fruit, which seems to be actually canned Murica fruit. Well, I'm not exactly sure what Arbutus we have here. Basically, what is being cultivated in Germany is usually Arbutus unedo or Arbutus andrachne, the Mediterranean Arbutus species, as well as the hybrid Arbutus andrachnoides. Well, Arbutus unedo basically grows on limestone. Arbutus andrachne grows on sour soil, so basically a lot of silica rocks. And Arbutus andrachnoides can do both. I'm not exactly sure which one this is. I think it's most probably Arbutus andrachnoides. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Where do the names of those plants come from? Well, Arbutus andrachne, as far as I know, andrachne was some woman who got transformed into a spider in Greek mythology. And Arbutus unedo, well, this actually seems to originate from Pliny the Elder, one of the oldest and most well-known historians in human history. He said that he can only eat one of the fruit. And for 2000 years, people have disputed if he could eat only one fruit because it was so good, or if he ate only one fruit because it was so bad. Now let's try those Arbutus fruit. The first ones are really ripe. Oh, there seem to be some which are not gonna get ripe because they dropped from the tree. They dropped from the shrub, but they are definitely not ripe. So those are more or less ripe. Let's try them. Sour, basically. A little bit sour, mild sourness. No seeds in this one. This one is more sweet. The surface, those pumps are actually hard. They are not spiny like spines, but they're also not soft. They are hard. Basically, it's quite hard to chew them. Basically, you swallow them whole, but the inside is soft. Orange like a pumpkin. Sour, but quite boring. A little bit sweet. There is a bit of flavor to it too. No reason to eat only one. It's neither as disgusting or as tasty as you might expect. It's okay fruit, but basically not a great fruit. I've rarely seen it on markets in the Mediterranean, but I've rarely been in the Mediterranean in fall when those things are ripe. Basically in the Mediterranean they rather use it to make spirits or jams or other preserves. The fruit is not bad. In mild parts of Germany, like the area of Heidelberg, Mannheim, or the Weinstraße, you can basically plant your tree in a protected place. Here it's planted at the south-facing wall and leave it alone. Usually the Arbutus will be frost hardy enough to survive here. In colder parts of Germany, it's basically advised to wrap the stem and to cover the ground around it, and maybe even put some frost protection over the whole plant. But here, they are very easy to cultivate. I don't understand why people don't cultivate them more often. The fruit are not so great, but they are good enough to eat. Well, after harsh winters, you will usually not have a lot of fruit or not have any fruit, because the flowers and the young fruit have to survive through winter. But still, there are enough years where you get quite a decent harvest here in Germany. So I can only advocate the planting of Arbutus anywhere in mild areas in Zone 8 in Germany, because you will be rewarded with a lot of quite okay fruit, and also with nice beautiful flowers in autumn when the bees are really desperate for flowers. Look at that. Lots of bumblebees despite the cold and gloomy weather today. Also lots of aphids and other insects. Definitely a nice plant to plant. I hope that pretty soon I'll find the wild Arbutus canariensis in the forests of the Canary Islands. But I think for Arbutus canariensis it's definitely too cold here in Germany. So folks, this was Arbutus, well, either unedo or arachnoides or arachne. Please help me with the identification. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful parks of Heidelberg in Germany. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.